Hey everyone, it's Libby from maighstirtarot. I'd like to acknowledge the ancestors past, present and future and welcome to you, your guides, my guides and the universal energies. Yes, I'm stuffed up with a head cold. Yay, international travel. Um, the timing's actually quite good because as awful as it sounds, Mum ended up in hospital on Friday with a temperature spike after she got a blood and platelet infusion. Wasn't me that gave it to her. She's had all the rhino tests and all the rest of it. They don't know the source of infection and think that it just might have been a body reaction. So I've got 24 hours. I'm on medication. I'm having my herbal teas. I'm going to air the entire house and I will be masking or double masking up if it isn't gone by tomorrow. So, yep, doing my best. So thank you for joining me. Using the Smith-Waite Tarot deck for this particular reading. I've propped the computer up even further to see if I can get rid of the overhead lighting shining on the cards, and entertainment only. Now, what I want to have a look at in this particular reading, and I'm just going to say again, um, the bots are out in force as usual. Insert eye roll. And the font that they use to reply to comments to say, ring me on this WhatsApp number and pay me heaps of money, etc. They're bots. Please, I don't have a WhatsApp account. I will never ask you for money. And by using that unusual font, they bypass my attempts to capture the comments before they get to you. So just click on the three dots on the side and report them, and hopefully it'll get rid of them for everybody else as well. Also, if this is not the channel for you, feel free not to watch. Don't seek out my email address and send me some, 5-paragraph rant about how evil I am, etc. I'm not interested. If it's not for you, don't watch. Move on. All that ranting is exposed. Yeah, move on. Just walk away. All that ranting is exposing is your own whatever it is that you've got going on within you. So just, yeah, don't bother. And if I tell you that I'm really not interested, don't then send me back another email ranting away about how I'm such a bully and all the rest of it. Not interested. Move along. You have free will and free choice. Okay, let that go. What I want to have a look at in this particular reading is news has come out that apparently Rubio, Witkoff and Kushner, the one that couldn't get the security clearance first regime around, are going to meet with the Ukrainian delegation in Florida on Sunday. Then they are expected to travel to Russia to meet with the Kremlin. Now, what has happened recently is that Ukraine, aside from all their fantastic targets within Russia to really knock out the oil processing plants and the electricity supply, notice that they do not target the citizens, unlike Russia. They've also now recently taken out 2 Shadow Fleet oil tankers, and they have also taken out, they haven't taken out, Russians did it to themselves. A nuclear Samat missile exploded during an attempted launch. It is a long-range missile that can have nuclear capability. Didn't have nuclear capability. I believe it was a test. Was launched and exploded during the launching situation. Russia is really, really, really the Kremlin. I'm not talking about the Russian people. I'm talking about the Kremlin. And when I say, the US, I'm talking about the regime. Russia is really in a bind. There are reports coming out that the Kremlin is now selling the gold reserves to oligarchs to try and raise money. They are really in big trouble. But Does that mean this is why the regime in the US is desperate to force a peace deal? Um, because the Kremlin's on its last gasp. So, a few of you asked me, was that missile exploding the explosion I'd seen? I actually see a missile exploding in its silo. And it is a nuke missile, and it will have the mushroom clouds, is what I've seen. So, no, I don't think it's it. Hoping hoping it is, because then it's over and done with. But apparently, the cloud that this explosion caused, highly, highly toxic, um, betrayal of the families and people, highly toxic. There was um, no evacuation of the area ordered. There was no public explanation of what happened. Apparently, the uh, toxicity of this cloud is one that causes human mutancy. It's just awful. Okay, but let's have a look. So, Rubio, Witkoff, and Kushner are supposed to meet with the Ukrainian delegation in Florida. How's that going to go? Now, we know Witkoff is a Russian agent, ties to Russia for decades, going back to, gosh, he was around, yeah, ties to Russia for decades, going back, gosh, almost, I think, to the Nixon era. I believe he was part of a law firm that represented one of Nixon's cronies. Yeah, he's been. Yeah, okay. We've got here the government, dark money, tower moment. We've got here ending of the happy families, the emperor, and the unbalanced, fading, misogynistic. Russia, I'm going to say the Kremlin is literally on its knees, and it is desperate. I'm just putting those back randomly. This is why the ceasefire was peace deal was offered with all these demands that the Kremlin wanted. So let's have a look. Rubio, Witkoff, and Kushner. The Ukrainian meeting with the Ukrainian delegation. I would put pounds to peanuts that the Ukrainians, with their intelligence agencies, know that Russia, yeah, the Kremlin is looking for its last dollar, pretty much. Let's have a look. Tell me what we need to know about this meeting with the Ukrainian delegation. Now, I did read a couple of weeks ago when this not peace plan was put forward, basically this Kremlin wish list, that Ukraine would agree to some form of it, but obviously not the original form. Let's have a look, because they know that they know the situation. They know what's going on. Let's have a look. Basically to stop the fighting. Oh, something's popped out. I'm not sure what it is. Tell me what we need to know about this meeting the Ukrainian delegation. Right. Apparently one of Zelensky's top advisors resigned over a corruption investigation. I'm feeling that he wasn't actually corrupt. There was planted something. But anyhow, well, I might have a look at that later. Okay, how's this going to go? Right, the magician. An attempt to create something out of nothing again. Sorry about the light there. An attempt to create something out of nothing. An attempt to manipulate. Look over here while this is happening over there. The distraction. Okay, so this is the Rubio Witkoff Kushner attempting to distract, attempting to create something out of nothing, manipulation. Challenged by the Page of Swords. The Ukrainian delegation knows the truth. At the foundation, we've got the star of hope and healing, the best of democracy. So what do we need to know about it? Trying to come to some sort of balance by pouring water on both land and in the water, practical and emotional. Got the little bird on the tree in the background that is coming to my attention. The bird brings the information that knows the truth. In the past, what do we need to know about this meeting? You've got the actual conflict itself, the Seven of Wands, defending their territories. They were taken on, I don't know that they were taken by surprise. I think they knew it was coming, but unawares at Ukraine was caught unawares at the lack of support that they would receive. Let me put it that way. I always felt this was part of why the Orange Twerp was so adamant he won 2020, because he was supposed to. It's just that the vote for Biden was so overwhelming it counteracted the manipulation. And that's why the Kremlin held off for 2 years to actually invade, or nearly 2 years, because they were waiting for the next lot of manipulation, which was the midterms, to get a Congress that was not supportive of Ukraine and not supportive of Biden, a Republican Congress. So in the past, yes, Ukraine were back-footed by the lack of the attack and the lack of support. There might be some fiery words spoken at this meeting with that Knight of Wands. Yeah, I'm just going to say some fiery words spoken about the loss and disappointment in the immediate future. Again, I think Ukraine is going to leave that meeting pretty much empty-handed, or, token with the two cups. But I think they're going to leave pretty much empty-handed, as the lid is being kept externally. The lid is being kept on the prize by Rubio, Witkoff and Kushner. Okay, hopes and fears, the hidden agenda being revealed, the outcome, inability to come to a conclusion with that Seven of Pentacles, the legacy with the Ten of Pentacles, the oligarchical money. Just where do we go? The dark money behind the scenes. Look at all this money that's in the outcome. But we've got the Wheel of Fortune here. Things are changing with bipartisan support. This might be the Congress itself. As the heavy burden is coming to an end and treason is being revealed. And then we've got the World card, ending of an era, and then investigation. Throwing under the bus. And we've got Russia here. Connections to Russia. Okay. On the underlying energy, we've got the Two of Pentacles. This could be overseas money coming in, or vote flipping, the false victory, the illusion, delusion, and poor choices that ends in the Tower moment, money trails, and legal action. Okay, I think I really think that this meeting with the Ukrainian delegation is basically going to be take what you're offered. They're not going to get anything. I suspect Ukraine will reject it. We've got information that's not yet been received from overseas, but the sword of truth coming out. How's it going to go? They're going to then meet with the Kremlin. What do we need to know about that meeting? Always gotten that Ukraine will come out victorious, and I've also got that the Crimea will become a sovereign state in the future, which indicates strongly that Russia will be forced to retreat. But how's the Rubio, Witkoff, Kushner? Why the F he is there? Why the F is Kushner there as well? How is they're going to travel to Russia? How's that going to go? I think there's 2 challenge cards there for me. So how's that going to go? 2 challenges. Okay, how is the US delegation going to go when they meet? What do we need to know about it when they meet the Kremlin? Right, not going to like what they have to offer. Trying to find a new path, but not going to like what's on offer. So, got the 2 of Swords here. Might even lift that up a little bit further, see if we can get that. No, not going to make any difference. What happens if I go down a bit further? Might be a bit better. 2 of Swords here. A crossroads moment where they've got to bring a truth that perhaps the Kremlin do not want to hear. You've got an isolation, but also investigation, but it's also and shining a light on the reality. Not going to like what's being put forward. Oh, yicky. Wonder when he'd turn up. At the foundation, we've got the devil. Chained themselves to the devil. In the past, we've got the World card, end of an era. I think they're going to go to Russia and tell them that it's over. The Kremlin. They're going to tell those in the Kremlin that it's over. Now, all of us, just about all of us readers, have seen the orange twerp, information about Putin's demise and Netanyahu of Israel all going down around the same time. Might be giving some information to the Kremlin that they don't like about this being over. Crowning this reading, you've got the Strength card. Trying to keep the orange twerp quiet. He has a very good habit of telling on himself. The immediate future, the King of Wands. Action being taken, bringing forward action, presenting a plan in the immediate future. This might be them presenting a plan that not all parties potentially agree on. This is the throwing under the bus. Not all agreeable. This could also be Congress, but there's infighting here. Internally, the manipulation, the trying to manifest something out of nothing. Hopes and fears, Death card, ending again. Ending of an era, ending of the wannabe emperors. The outcome, 3 of Pentacles, the ships leaving harbour. They're not coming in, they're leaving. Unexpected message. And then the Lovers card. Unexpected information coming forward, and then the Lovers card, and then the Wheel of Fortune. And secrets being revealed with the Moon card. And the some sort of, hands tied with that Eight of Swords. What have we got? You've got the orange twerp on the back foot as hidden agendas are revealed. Uncharted territory with the Fool, and justice being brought. As volatile information is brought forward with that Five of Pentacles being fully exposed with the Sun card. I think this delegation is going to go to the Kremlin and tell them it's over. However, because they're not very good negotiators. Because I think Ukraine are just, I think, oh yeah, Five of Wands, the infighting, and the Ten of Swords. It's over. It's over. Because the rest of the world has stood behind Ukraine, provided Ukraine with military assistance, with the Chariot there, including little old Australia, with our Bushmasters and our laser drone destroyers. What's the Kremlin going to do? Right, there's going to be some sort of announcement come forward. What's the Kremlin going to do in response? Expect the orange twerp to post or say something really stupidly treasonous in regards to this, because the Kremlin has information. The Lovers card about the orange twerp. Entertainment only, if I haven't said that already. Let's have a look. What's the Kremlin going to do in response? Because we know Witkoff and Rubio, and especially Kushner, they're not diplomatic negotiators. Goodness me. 2 out of the 3 of them are bloomin' con men, mafia style. So let's have a look. What's the Kremlin going to do in response to the information that this delegation brings? What's the Kremlin going to do? Right, so you've got this unbalanced partnership, relationship, the tree dying on this side and flourishing on that side. Some sort of drawn to the Sun. Threat to reveal. Okay. Threat to reveal the Lovers. I mean, we know Melania. Her father worked, I believe, for the FSB, which is the modern version of the KGB. She was a plant. Absolutely. It's not necessarily just Melania. Because the challenge is the inability to get the support that they need, the inability to harvest, the inability to get money. Something unexpected is what they're stewing in. Bringing forward something unexpected. You've got in the past the Two of Pentacles, juggling the money on the stormy seas. Okay. Oh, my guides, when they want me to say something, they bloom and yes, I heard you. The money's not coming in as fast as they're losing equipment. I mean, goodness me, how much did a nuclear SAMAP missile cost that just blew up? We don't know what it took out. We don't know what else it took out. Yeah, juggling the money in the past. And this is also my money laundering card, but I don't think it's coming in fast enough for them. Yeah, the throwing under the bus. The infighting, throwing under the bus. King of Swords. Bringing forth a truth. A strategy, cutting through. King of Swords. Kings are about action that's coming forward. Queens are about internally doing for me. Kings are about external action. King of Swords with information. Negative information with that Eight of Wands externally. Flood the zone with negative information about internally the oligarchs, those that made money, those that have gotten money, the Wheel of Fortune, everything turning. The Ten of Wands, so in the future position, we've got the 2 tens plus the Wheel of Fortune in response to truth being brought forward and a lot of it. Trying to juggle the messaging, but it's an ending. Loss and disappointment. And the Knight of Cups, the false knight, but the rejection of that cup with the Four of Cups. And the Hanged Man, somebody's going to be sacrificed and cast out in the cold with the Five of Pentacles, with the military here as well, and the Devil. What are they going to do in response? I honestly think, so you got the Queen of Wands, information about women, the Hermit, investigation, the Ace of Swords, the World, ending, the Government, and the Temperance card. Documentation about children. Harsh truth, judgment moment, secrets being revealed. And you've got the White House there. People walking away. You've got the Legislators' Congress working across the aisle. You've got the King of Pentacles versus the King of Cups. But the King of Pentacles looking at the money. The King of Cups is looking outwards. The Voter, be careful what you wish for, and the Tower card. I think the Kremlin, in response, is going to reveal stuff that could topple the regime in the US. Am I right there? Let's have a look. In response, Wheel of Fortune and Tower card. Let's say that's a yes, but let's have a look. Yeah, a lot of truths that are making a lot of people worried. We'll turn the wheel. Okay. Okay, let me ask, because I want to ask. And then the Hermit, the investigation, the Nightmare, truths coming out. Is the Kremlin going to demand that the US somehow supply more support? Because, I mean, if that's anything that's going to expose treason, it's going to be something where it's really blatantly. Is the Kremlin going to demand that the US supply more support? That's what's going to be asked for. So the Knight of Cups, Seven of Swords, to try and supply more arms is what I'm getting. Sneakily supply. Love to know where those drones that were promised to Ukraine but ended up going to the Saudis ended up. Supposedly to the Saudis ended up. Yeah, so they're going to make a demand for more equipment is what I think. Or we tell with that Page of Wands. Or we tell. Okay, the Death card, the Fool card. This is the death knell, and we're going to be in uncharted waters with the Fool as it goes off the cliff, and the Lovers, the unbalanced relationship, but the Lovers card being exposed. That is their strategy with the Queen of Swords. There may be some sort of agreement over it with the Two of Cups, but it's going to be revealed with that High Priestess. Don't know who's going to reveal it, but and on the bottom, Ten of Wands, Ten of Swords, loss and disappointment as information is brought forward with that Page of Pentacles, and then you've got the Military. Oh boy. I think they're going to I think the Kremlin is going to demand more equipment, or they tell. It's going to be a foolish ending move. Agreement here, because you've got the agreement card. Internal strategy, the agreement being made, but the hidden secrets being revealed, which brings about 2 tens. Loss as the information comes forward, and then we've got the Military. Okay, if I keep going on the bottom there, you've got an inability to actually make it happen, the investigation into money being sent overseas, justice, treason, Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Wands, Ace of Swords, holy crumbs, 3 aces in a row in regards to justice and treason. Tower moment. And those that thought they had it all in the bag are going to end up going down. 3 swords, 3 swords, 1 sword underneath there. Yeah, I think the Kremlin is going to make a demand for more equipment or something along those lines, or they tell, but it's going to be exposed. And it will be treason in those 3 aces with the Justice card. Oh boy. There are so many things that could take this regime down. It's like pick a box. All of them are winners or losers, depending on what side you're on. Okay, I'm going to leave that there. There is a lot happening in the world at the moment, and on a personal and a worldwide basis. So please, now is the time. Take a breather. Go and smell the roses. Get out in the garden. Get out in the sun. If you've got sun, or enjoy the snow. I love a snowstorm. I've been involved in some in my past. I actually really enjoyed being snowed in for days on end, even if there was no power, as long as you've got a deck of cards and a few bottles of port and some food that can be eaten. What's not to love? Okay, as long as you're warm. Fireplace. Yeah, had a fireplace. If in doubt, I think Bo, the 5th column, had some really good advice years ago about how to survive if your power goes out. One of them being things like this terracotta plant pots. First of all, seal off a room so you're only heating one room. Light a candle to warm the pot up. put a tent up inside the room so that you're keeping the heat in a even more confined area. But please look after yourself, look after your neighbours. Love to you all. Yeah, we are getting very close, and it's gonna be interesting times. Okay, love to you all. Take care.